Okay, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this morning live stream. Hope you all have a wonderful morning. Sorry about the previous live stream. I had to take it down because the screen got stuck, and I don't like it when it gets stuck because I was showing you something. Now I'm worried. What if the screen gets stuck again? So I'm not gonna show you something. I'll show you it later. So it's time to do some interesting video looking. It's time to look for some fun videos, some fun content to bookmark. Always bookmark the content. Okay. So, anyways, okay. A lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. So, what? Okay, sometimes they have no content apparently. Now, the one thing I do worry about is what if I choose the wrong person or stuff like that. Things like that kind of happen, and I do not want to make a mistake. Okay, I know we all make mistakes, but come on. Making mistakes is something I want to avoid. And it's gonna take some time to avoid mistakes. Mistakes always pop up here and there. So anyways, I was talking about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak in my previous live stream, and it is true, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is a fun game. It's pretty fun. A lot of people may not like it. I think, okay, if you don't know, I mentioned this in the previous live stream, but I took it down, so might as well repeat myself. If you don't know, Rise is a Monster Hunter game that came out last year, and Sunbreak is an expansion for that specific um, game. And is it good? Is it bad? It's good. I've just like touched the tip of the game, and it's so good. It's literally so good. They did a bang up job of making the game. That's all I can actually say. They've also brought something from the Frontier series, which is obviously NPC hunters. You couldn't not really hunt with other characters in the game, so in the old games, but now you can. But there's specific type of missions to do. The specific type of missions you actually do, uh, where you can play with the NPCs. You did have NPCs, but they were in the forms of cats and dogs, and they had like different type of weapons and content to use specifically. So obviously, you have to do the heavy hunting at the end of the day. But that's kind of fine. That's kind of fine altogether. Okay, we have a really good piece of content for you guys. I bookmarked it, so hopefully the bookmark stays, you know? I'll come back. I had a heavy breakfast today. A very heavy breakfast. So, yeah. I can hear a school bell ringing. My old school. I can hear it ringing. It's close to me, so, just a couple of, like, roads. It's so close by. And plus the bell is very loud. It brings back the old memories, the old stone cold memories, of the 15s and 14s and 13s and 12s, the old days. The old days, it's fun. She looks cute. But the old days, you cannot match the old days. The old days were something special. That's for sure. And not just like that, but everything felt so innocent, not just by going to school and coming home. No, everything felt innocent. Everything felt naturally innocent. These days everything has to be so evil and so rowdy, and everything has to be so rude. And it's so obnoxious, not everything needs to be like that. Not everything needs to be so obnoxious, and everything needs to be so pathetic all the time. Okay, I'm gonna keep her over here because I'll download some of her videos. just gonna close this right over here. Okay, good to go. Open in a new tab. Okay, I'm just saying, school was so different back then. I know everyone has different life in school. Everyone was either the class clown or the quiet kid. I was a quiet kid, but there's always you get the very close characters in every school. You know, class clown, talkers, the quiet ones, uh, the jocks, the nerds, the geeks and stuff like that. So you get a people, plethora of people everywhere. I'm gonna bookmark her. Anyways, going back to Monster Hunter. We all love Monster Hunter, correct? Well, some of us do. Now, they are going to be doing a special premiere, possibly a premiere or maybe a live stream. I don't really know, but they're going to have a special event on the 9th of August, basically next week, Tuesday. So if you are interested, you can just mark your calendars. Basically, they'll be talking about the forthcoming update for August. They plan an update for August, and they basically stated that they'll be doing an event as well, which is pretty cool. I did not really expect them to give out an event for this. Maybe they might talk more about the behind the scenes stuff for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is interesting, because don't get me wrong, like I think certain times sometimes behind the scenes stuff may seem a bit tedious, but if you are someone out there who's actually interested in working in video games and all that type of content, it will actually click to you more, you know? Now, I'm not someone who wants to actually have a big budget studio whatsoever. Nothing wrong with it, I just feel like it's not for me. So I might as well stick to myself and just a couple of people working, and that's it. Not everything needs to be colossal, you know? Because when everything is so colossal, we lose focus, you know? If something is just minuscule, the best part about that is when things are minuscule, for a fact that, there may be limitations, but at least you know what you're doing. At least you can work around and find creative ways of doing something instead of copying the same paste of other people. When I was planning on, last year, I've always wanted to make games since a couple years ago. And ever since like last year, I was thinking, how do I put my games out? What do I do when stuff like that, And I thought to myself, hey, maybe I should have like DLCs where I charge like extra dough and stuff like that. And now I look back and I think I was stupid because you don't need DLCs to make a good game. I'm sorry. DLCs is not a must in gaming. A lot of games do it, but I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I think I'll just give the content and move on with the next game. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to own stuff like that. And plus, I'll barely give free content, bonus content updates. The only updates I'll give is possibly uh, bug updates and glitch updates. Other than that, I'm not going to be dropping a lot of rainbirds outside. I don't think you can hear it. Um, Speaking of outside, the day is pretty okay. Nonetheless, as I was saying, I don't think every game needs to be compiled with updates every month. Sometimes once a game is done, it's done. You don't need to continue every single time. I think a lot of game companies are doing that, and for some games it works. Some games it don't. Some games it feels terrible to have like a continuous load of content every single time. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather stick to something less than that. So what I'm planning to do is just, you know, release the game with 100% full of content. And people want bonus content, okay, that's fine. But that's it. I'm not going to be doing anything special, and continue the game and make its longevity even longer. No, I'll end it right over there. It's up to the player to make it long. It's not really my specific goal to make the game itself long, because you're just giving it content. Yeah, yes, you're fueling the flames, but at the end of the day, it depends on how much of that flame can affect the player. If the player loves the game, they'll play it forever. They'll come back to play it a couple months later and a couple years later. Okay. So, okay, August 9th, 7 PTD. I'm guessing that's very late. British Standard Time. So I'm guessing that's like 4 for me because I'm like an hour ahead. Or maybe 2 o'clock for me. I don't know. So they're going to talk more about that, which is good. I hope they don't tease out every single monster because that really sucks. Don't you just hate when they tease out everything? Don't you just hate? Moving along, I think it's very interesting to to have some updates, but not everything needs an update. Like some games are full to the brim of content. Like which will be my games. I'll fill my content. I'll fill my games to the brim of content. Like sometimes there might be free additional content, bonus stuff, but I don't plan to make the bonus stuff. Bonus stuff would just be there as a little gift, She looks cute. I think I'm gonna make a video on why should you date trans women. It will be a strange video because I don't really normally dabble in that type of stuff, and I think it's up to the person. It's not really up to me to say if you should or should not. Like I can show you a couple of like footage and say, oh look, they're so cute, but just like a regular relationship, you need to have a click. You need to have a magnetic pull to one another. You need to understand each other. You need to basically be loving and compassionate. So maybe I should make a video on that. I feel like some people will really appreciate it. Some people might not, but I don't know. Okay. Okay. So anyways, mark your calendars if you are interested in this. I really wish I can live stream this, but I can't because my stream sucks so terrible and I can't really watch videos from over there. I can't do it. It's gonna be impossible. I've been trying to find ways to actually connect my tablet, but I think that'll be just kind of silly. Because then you have to do like some like wireless route, which really sucks because I don't know, I want things to be wired at least, How about her? We do a video on her. I did bookmark her, but the bookmark came out some other time. Or maybe it was on a different file, I don't know. But she is cute. She's very cute. And as I said, it's up to the person if they want to date people like that. It's not up to me to decide that. You can't be forced to like someone you don't. Like, you can't force someone gay to like someone straight. You can't do that. You can't do that. So why you should be accepting it with this? No, it shouldn't. It's up to you if you want to do it. I'll just provide some interesting conversation. Like maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't, or like things you should do, because it's just like treating like anyone else basically. Sure, you get the extra part sometimes, or sure they might be very hyper feminine, but at the end of the day, they're there as also humans, so they are there as humans and also as a partner. So it's up to you to also treat them like that. It's very simple, very, very simple. Okay, so I'm pretty interested in this update, but once again, I'm glad Capcom does not really continue all the updates over and over. They put a stop to it, and I'm glad they do that, because if everything was just continuous, we won't really get new games, would we? We will get the same content over and over. I'm not saying games cannot be like that, but not every game should be like that. These days, people think that every game should follow the live service route. No, not every game is live service. Not every game should be live service. It's unfortunate that not every game is live service for some people, but this is just how reality is. Not every game needs to be a pay for thing or whatever. Because once again, when it comes to most of my games, you gotta pay for them. It'll be a cheap price. But let's be real. Cheap or not, I want my games to be perfect. Well, it's not going to be super perfect. And when you limit yourself or you have limitations, the fun part about that is you find creative ways to work yourself around and actually have fun. And I think that's my main goal, is to have fun while making it as well. And also make sure the players have fun. I'm not doing it for awards. I could care less about awards. I never cared about awards in my life. I don't do things for awards. You know, I do it because I want to have fun. I want people to have fun. I want my ideas out there. I hope people get to enjoy my content. Um, it's just so crazy, honestly, how gaming has changed, and if you like it or not, I don't know. I don't know. I think I think that I think that um, it's all about what you enjoy. I understand, but not everything can be the same. Not everything can be the same. Monster Hunter cannot be Fortnite. You know, it just can't. It cannot. You know, or Fortnite cannot be Monster Hunter. So you need to understand that there has to be some differences. Um, because without differences, then what are we? We are all the same. We are all like robots. Beep 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 robots. Yeah, this is the problem. Everything is becoming so simplistic. That's another problem. I wish things weren't as simplistic, you know? So as I said, since I'm going to be working on my games practically alone for some parts of it, I feel like it'll be great because I can actually work around certain aspects and make the games pretty fun. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like this is how it should be. Because if you limit yourself in some way, then it's going to be somewhat fun. Because then all games will look the same. I don't want that, you know? Because the more workers you have, the more you can actually do, and you can actually make a game like a pretty big open world game. But the problem is that it's not going to be the game that's going to be fun. It's going to be the game that's made, but not the game that's fun. You know? Because everyone just wants to put on a spectacle these days. Okay, not everything is spectacle. Okay, not everything can be a spectacle. Sometimes things just have to be completely different. Okay. So I hope people can understand what I'm trying to say. And it will be a taxing experience, literally and figuratively. But it's all worth the work. It's all worth the work, in my opinion. It's all worth putting out all of this heavy work and content and having fun, you know? Like, the main goal is hoping that the people who play the game have fun. Because if it's not fun, then what's the point? I think that should be a motto. If it's not fun, then what's the point? Okay? That should be the company's motto. But then again, I feel like fun is obviously going to be very subjective to one another. Like, some people think Fortnite is fun. And even though I don't think that, they think so. So it's all subjective, okay? Really, really sucks, but it's all subjective. Those things are subjective, okay? Okay. But there are things that are not subjective and things are very clear cut. I would have to say that most of the work I'll put out will be pretty fun. I can't guarantee everyone will, because not everything is for everyone, obviously. but I can guarantee that most people will have fun. The main target audience will have fun. That's something I can actually say, I can actually put out there, you know? It's one of those things I can actually promise. Not in a heavy promise, but more of a light promise, Nonetheless, I think it should be fun, enjoyable, and once again, the length of the game. Yes, I can add a couple of updates if I feel like it or whatsoever, but at the end of the day, I don't want the game to continue forever. I don't want to add content forever. I feel like it's up to the player to see if they want to play the game or when they want to play the game. Just because I add content, yes, it gives you a reason to play, but the game itself should be a reason already to replay the game. It should have like replayability purposes. That's the point I want to bring out. Games should have certain ways to be replayed. That's why I want all of my games to be somewhat replayed, like story parts and different types of content should be replayed over and over so people can enjoy certain contents. As I said, fun is subjective. I understand that completely. But you know what also is subjective? I don't know. A lot of things, but not everything is. So I don't want to overcharge people for video games. I think that would be kind of crazy. I have to have a limit on what I'm going to charge. And things I will make, there has to be a limit on that as well. Not everything can be like everything else. So, okay. I don't know if she's a girl or I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta keep checking. But sometimes you don't want to make that mistake. Because mistakes is very painful. Okay, I think she's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Nonetheless, it's interesting. It's interesting just to make video games. There's a lot of games from the old time that I can replay. You know why? Mostly because it's not because they add more content now. It's because I want to play it. It's because it's fun. The replayability is there, so I can go back and play the content. It's all about that. So if I can go back and replay those old games, why should the new games not have the same feeling? I feel like these days every game tries to like do so much, which is not wrong. I think having a lot is also fun. A lot of people may think a lot is less. No, it's a lot. Lot it means a lot, but there needs to be a reason to come back. And there needs to be a reason to come back and play certain games and do certain things. There needs to be a reason for that, specifically. Um, so if my game has like plenty of replayability, then that's perfect. And if I add like a couple of extra content, that would be perfect as well. Because then people can actually come back and enjoy the old content as well as the new content. I hope I'm making sense because it's a very sticky topic when it comes to stuff like this, Very sticky. But I feel like, once again, it's all about replayability. It's all about people can have fun. It's not about awards. I know last year and the other years I thought about awards. I was thinking, well, not for me personally. No, not for me. If you don't know what happened a couple years ago, basically there was going to be this BAFTAs thing where they were going to judge your games based on how diverse it is. So if your game had like 100% gay people, then it's an instant win. And I thought that some people just want to make games to win awards. But then I realized that that mentality is not the best mentality. because you don't make games to win awards. You don't do that. You just make games. You just make content. That's it. It's very simple. It's very simple. You don't need to make something so crazy just to win an award. Awards are bonus items, not something you need. Okay? Because you're making something for the public to enjoy, and obviously not everyone like it, yes, but you're making sure it's fun, making sure it's enjoyable. And a couple years ago I thought if people just want to make games because they feel like they want to win an award, I thought that was perfect. But then I thought recently that's just not the best mentality to have. Hello, she's beautiful, look at her. Oh wow. See people, you know like sometimes if you date a trans woman, you get to date stuff like this. You get to have like fun content like this, to share and enjoy. That's the best part about sharing.